Ladies and gentlemen, day one of the New England Patriots rookie minicamp is officially underway. And today wasn't the most entertaining practice in the world. We have to understand that it's just rookie minicamp. There's no pads, no contact for the most part. And you just can't really see too much, right? There's a lot of pad work in terms of, like, you see little tackle dummies here and there that people hold up. But individually, you get a lot of workouts, specific position groups. And what I wanted to do in this video was kind of break down some of these highlights. I want to show you what we saw on day one, maybe who looked good, who didn't look good, and whatnot, right? Now, before we dive into the video, you are going to see some names at the top left of your screen, okay? Now, I want you guys to do me a favor before we dive into all the news, notes, analysis, everything, right? Go follow all of the Patriots media members on Twitter or X because, guys, without them, these videos aren't possible to make. So go give them a follow. Go give them a shout out. I appreciate them so much. And with them, man, it makes this so much easier to do. So big shout out to all the media members over in New England. Go give them a follow on X if you haven't already done so. Now, in this video, or in the comment section, I want you guys to do one thing. Comment down below, which rookie do you think will have the biggest impact on day one? Whether it be Will Campbell, or Kyle Williams, or Travion Henderson, right? Joshua Farmer, Greg Woodson. There's a lot of guys here that they brought in. Maybe even Jared Wilson competing for that backup center job. Maybe even a starting center job. Who do you think will be the biggest impact player on this team going into next season? Now, with that being said, let's kind of dive in. Now, the first thing I want to look at here is Will Campbell. And we're going to spend a lot of this video looking at Will Campbell. And strictly because they needed a guy to come in here and not only be a day one starter, but be a freak of nature. Will Campbell is that guy. He's a bully in terms of the dude has insane lower body strength. And he's got great footwork when, pass protecting, okay? So he's immediately going to be your day one starter, most likely at left tackle. But the good news I heard today was Morgan Moses voluntarily went up to Mike Rabel and said, I want to mentor this dude. I want to make sure I tell him everything I know. You guys understand how important that is? You guys understand how much of a great human you have to be to say, I want to coach this guy up and train him to take my job. Now, specifically not his job. I get that. But when you look at this football team, you need a star left tackle. Will Campbell has that potential, but if he's not coached right, if he's not mentored right, that may not happen. So having Morgan Moses come out here and say, I want to mentor him is huge. Outside of a lot of offensive line film that we got to see today, we didn't really get to see too much else. I'm going to show you what I did find and what I did see. But before we get into that, do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, join the family, turn on post notifications if you're new because we will be covering the Patriots throughout the entirety of the offseason. I mean, look at his footwork. Great footwork. I know he's just shuffling there. But a guy I'm very high on. Very, very high on in terms of just pure talent at the left tackle position. Very quick. If you need him to pull as a tackle, left to right, you can do it, right? If you need him to pull left, right, you can do that. He can do whatever you really need him to. So I'm very high on Will Campbell. Join the family. Let's dive into it a little bit more. Now, one part of practice I thought was cool was Mike Rabel was out here, man. He was working with some of these guys, had a little of that pad on. Dude, you know one thing about Mike Rabel? Dude loves the offensive line, the trenches, the defensive line. He wants to win at the line of scrimmage, which is extremely important. I am hyped up about Mike Rabel being the Patriots' new head coach here, and I think he's going to do a really good job getting these guys active, getting these guys ready to go. And when you look at this offensive line right now, you're probably looking at Will Campbell, Cole Strange at left guard, Garrett Bradbury at center, maybe Jared Wilson depending on how he develops, Michael Wenu, and then Morgan Moses at right tackle, which is a much improved offensive line going into the season. You also add Stephon Diggs, you add Matt Collins, you add Kyle Williams. I mean, suddenly, this team doesn't look that bad. Hunter Henry, Austin Hooper, still your tight ends with Jaheim Bell with the 7th round pick last year. You have Ramondre. Boom. You add Travion Henderson. Guys, the one thing I'm seeing right now is just versatility along this offense. Here's another player I'm very high on. Kyle Williams. He's wearing number 18, 3rd round pick. 5'10", but this dude has tremendous playmaking ability. You see him being coached up here by Mike Rabel. I love Kyle Williams compared a lot to Steve Smith by Steve Smith himself. A lot of players A lot of former players don't like to be like, yeah, this guy reminds me of me. A lot of players don't like that. Because if you're a really good player in the NFL, you want to be the only player. You want to be the only Steve Smith. But Steve Smith said, no, this guy is the next me. If there's anyone close to me, it's this guy right here. And really competitive type of player. Wants to win every single rep. Wants to be coached. And actually, said after practice, I want to be coached. I want to be elite. I want to be the very best player I can ever be. And that's the type of mindset you want. Learning from Stefon Diggs. Learning from a Matt Collins, who is a willing blocker, by the way. Which, again, brings us back to point one. Offensive line is the most important thing in football. Run the ball, win in the trenches, have wide receivers that want to block, establish the run game, and then boom, now they're playing one-eye safety. They're stacking the box to stop the run, Ramondre and Travion Henderson, and then boom, you hit them over the top with the Kyle Williams or Matt Collins or Stefon Diggs, right? So being able to run the ball adds a ton of unpredictability to your offense that every team needs. Kyle Williams is a guy that, might not be a great blocker, but he can learn and be mentored with a guy like Mike Rabel, Matt Collins, Stefon Diggs. I'm excited about that. Now, I'm not going to lie. That was pretty much it for practice today. Didn't get to see too much. Mike Rabel is very, he doesn't want too much recorded, especially not 11-on-11s and 7-on-7s. He wants that to be low-key, right? Just because he doesn't want other teams seeing this film like we're seeing and being able to take some plays, be like, okay, this is what they run. So they're going to be very hard-nosed compared to some other years where you got to see a lot more, but that's okay. We'll do what we can do. We'll break down what we can break down, and until the next time, which should be tomorrow. I believe they practice again tomorrow. We'll probably get some more highlights just like today, and we'll break down as much as we can. Overall, I am pumped up. You add Will Campbell, you add Jared Wilson to the offensive line, and as well as 3 other starters probably. You trade Joe Milton for a pick. You add Joshua Dobbs, a good backup veteran quarterback that can help develop Drake May, which is what you needed. You needed someone that could help develop instead of compete with Drake May for that starting spot. Joshua Dobbs is perfect, right? Travion Henderson is going to come in and do what we just said Drake May is not going to do, is compete. He's going to come in here and be like, hey, sorry, Ramondre, you fumbled 8 times last year. I'm going to come take your job if you aren't better. But what that's going to do is force Ramondre to what? Be better. Wide receivers. I mean, you got 9 wide receivers that could potentially be starters on this football team. Diggs, Hollins, Douglas, Butte, Kendrick Bourne, Kyle Williams, Jalen Polk, Javon Baker, Efton Chisholm, right? There's guys. There's guys here. What was that word? Competition. Compete. These guys are going to compete every single snap. This is going to be a fun training camp. It's going to be a competitive training camp, man. And that's what you look for the most, man. So, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, join the family, turn on post notifications. Let's go, man. We're dialed in. Also, they have like 5-6 new starters defensively. Milton Williams, Tonga, Harold Landry, Jack Gibbons, potentially, Robert Spillane, Carlton Davis, Chason, Marcus Epps. I mean, this team is deep now. This team is deep. It's very, very deep. I'm excited to see what they do next year. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in tomorrow's update. Peace.